Okay, legends, welcome back to the channel with another Overlord Lord of Nazarick video, and this time we're gonna do the tier list of the Arclights. Now, this is not a tier list that you will expect how it will be. Like, every single Arclight is there to explain it, why it's there, and how it's used, and what's the best. Just, I will explain for you how it goes. Every Arclight that have an EX specifically for a character that it works on them only, which is their exclusive Arclight, it's the best for them in most of the scenarios or the cases, and it works only for them. So you don't need to put it on a tier list. Oh, is Night Albedo EX good like for her exclusive? To use the exclusive on somebody like PDL? No, because it does not work. It works only on her. So there's no point on putting it on the tier list. But for the general effect happens on every single Arclight, and all of the exclusive, all the characters that have an Arclight that works only for them, it has a general effect that works on everybody, and it's also there on other Arclights, but with higher stats. So we're gonna talk about the independent Arclights that has a general effect that works on everybody, which is a higher multiplier than the EX or the Arclight that it has the same effect but on a lower stats. Let me give you a small example. So Fearless of Death that we have as a general Arclight that doesn't have an EX exclusively for somebody else. It works same as PDL1, Valkyrie Shaltir, or Night Albedo. They have the general one of a fixed chance to heal your unit when they get attacked. That's perfect, but the ones with the exclusive ones that has it's specifically for Valkyrie Shaltir or PDL or Albedo, Night Albedo, they have it on lower multipliers or lower percentages than the one that has it on general. We'll be talking about that and explaining why sometimes it's better to have it, or those Arclights are better to have on a character such as like Night Albedo. Night Albedo, her EX is absolutely fantastic. It uses, it shields somebody when their shield, the ally is shield. She gets more counter rate up to 3 times per turn and goes and hit your enemies, and there's a chance to inflict taunt on them. Now the downside of it, if you have taunt a lot on units and they will go and attack your Albedo. Albedo cannot survive as much as possible unless you're playing 2 healers or you're playing a healer, mega OP healer that can't be stunned or taunted or silenced or whatever. So you need the chances for you to keep healing her so she can taunt up and high. So we have better EX moves that we can play on her, or better Arclights that have a general effect that we can play on her that will make Night Albedo almost immortal or unkillable, same as Valkyrie Shaltir and PDL. We're gonna talk about all of these and explain it in the tier list right now. Now that we put that out of the picture and we put you right on track, let's talk about the best Arclights and how we can use them, and what are the OP ones that you must have and you must build, because they're super important and crucial for you, specifically in some stages and scenarios. In PvP specifically, there's Arclights that you might not look upon, and they are super important that can change the tides for you in PvP and make you win. So we're gonna start from C up to SS, and I'll be talking about first Hymen of Loyalty. Hymen of Loyalty, in my opinion, and with the other players that we go and check, it's one of the most, it's good, but it's not that good. It's good for its usage, but the problem with it, it does not last at all. Like, it's not the best one to use. So you use the ultimate, and we know that the cooldowns of the ultimates are super high if you don't have any unit to support you and reduce the turn meter or the cooldown and let you go back to back so you can use your ultimate. So it has a 50% fixed chance, which goes up to 100 to gain a random buff, which is attack boost, turn meter, and recovery rate for 2 rounds, which is great. It's good to have buffs. It's absolutely fantastic, but it's upon using the ultimate, and you need to max it out to guarantee yourself always doing that. If not, you're gonna have a 50% fixed chance. So you have an ultimate, you do it. If you have it at 1 star, you may not, or you may get the boost, and it's not crucial. It will not change the game for you. So it's one of the, I think, weakest Arclights in the game. if you want to go and check it, it works only on warriors. Every Arclight has a specific one. Some works on healers, tanks, warriors, and rangers. So 4 type of Arclights. This is the weakest one. Specifically, you don't want to use it on somebody that as a warrior. You don't want them to be buffers or to do anything else. You want them to go and absolutely get something that is worth for your while. Now, next, we have 500 million gold. 500 million gold, if you know what's 500 million gold in the anime, it's when Ainz resurrects somebody, he pays 500 million gold and he resurrects them from the dead. But this is not what this Arclight does. What this Arclight does is, at 1 star, it has a 60% chance, fixed chance actually, to use, after using the ultimate, to purify yourself or purify one random ally from a debuff. Imagine you're playing a full team that has all burns on them, all bleed on them, and you want to remove one debuff actually from this using this one, and it works only when you use your ultimate, and this effect can be triggered only 2 times in the battle. This is by far the weakest one in the entire game. You might never use it, and I don't recommend anybody to use it. If I have it, if I get it, I get a lot of it, I will immediately dismantle it and get the stardust or from anything else from what I dismantle it to buy a better one. This is probably one of the worst one. Debuff, you can play alchemy set if you want, or what do you call it, Maxim set. Play Maxim set. Maxim set will remove from your ally every single turn when you heal and do not do an attack, or when you don't do a damage and you do an active skill, which is ultimate, second skill, or whatever it is, and or a passive, and it will do, or active, it's an active, you will heal somebody. It's a set, relic set, better than an Arclight, which is very expensive actually to build. So I wouldn't recommend anybody to use this. It's absolutely not worth it, the 500 million gold. Now, Battle of the Headwife. It's decent, it's okay. The downside about it, that you can use it after you go into the battle only for 2 rounds. After 2 rounds, you will not gain any effects from it. The good thing about its effects, actually, it gives you high attack. It gives you percentage in attack, and it gives you attack in flat number. And it increases your counter rate by 25%. This is only on 1 star, and it will increase the damage dealt by the counter by 25%, which is great actually, but only for 2 rounds, not worth the investment. If it was like for 5 rounds, let's say, it would be absolutely legendary in the SS category. But for 2 rounds, you might not do that. If you get like stunned, you might not do any counters if you get anything else like that. So it's a little bit lackluster. Hopefully we're gonna get something, or it can be buffed a little bit so we can use it. I love it actually. I have it. I'm still using it because it's one of the best that I have. One of the ones that I have actually, because I don't have everything else. Still, it's not that useful. There's better for it for counter and assist. I'll be talking about them later. Now, Comrades. Comrades is also good. It's good for, the thing about it, it's also for 2 rounds when you get into the battle. For 3 attacks if you get hit, and it's used on healers. So one-shot teams, this can be crucial for you sometimes. So this is super situational. This is why it's lower. It's not like it's useless. It's situational for healers. You're gonna reduce the damage taken dealt by the enemies for the first 3 attacks. So if you're playing against an EE team and you have this one already built, you can use it. And by the way, you can use this on, if you're playing 2 healers, you can get 2 of this and do not combine it or start it up and use it on 2 different healers. So you can do that if you want to cheese your way, but it's lackluster a little bit because you can use other things on healers. You can have other units that you can play on your healers. You can have different sets that you can play on your healers. You can boost them with defense, magical defense. You can boost them with damage rate down if you want, and they will not get one shot. So I don't see the usage for it so much. So it's the first 3 attacks, you will not be or if you're targeted, you're not gonna take that much damage. It will protect you for only 2 rounds. After 2 rounds, it does not work anymore. It will give you the basic stats of HP and it will give you the defense, but it will not trigger the effect that it has on it. So this is why it comes a little bit lower on the list. It's very situational. Against one-shot teams, you might use it. It will be helpful. Same thing for the tanks. Also for 2 rounds, it will reduces the damage taken after you use the ultimate. So let's say you're playing somebody like Albedo. This is also situational, is not perfect for everybody. So let's say Albedo, Knight Albedo, you use her taunt and you have this on you at the start of the battle. So whenever they attack you for for only 2 hits after using the ultimate, you're not gonna take that much damage. It will reduce the damage. At 1 star it's 12.5, and it goes up, which will be good actually. Very situational. If you play somebody else, like let's say Valkyrie Shaltir, you're already gonna reduce the damages. Even Albedo already with her, if she uses her ultimate, reduces the damages. PDL, he will make a big wall, reduces the damages. So I don't see the point of using it. I know it increases the defenses, it has high HP, which is good for stats, but it will not be that super insane because you will only use it while using the ultimate. So if you use other skills, this one does not work, and you're gonna get the 2 hits, and after that you're gonna get tapped by other units. So it's better to use one that is absolutely fantastic, and I'll be talking about one in the SS for the tanks, and you will be mind-boggled by it. Now for Rangers, we have Boost Morale. Boost Morale is really good. It's not that bad actually, but it does not increase the counter or the chase. It increases the assist rate. So it's better to have it on assist, especially because it's for Rangers, and Rangers are known for their assist rate. It increases attack a little bit and gives you a little bit of HP. Now, the cool thing about it that it will trigger, or you will gain a turn meter once you assist or counter or chase, which is good actually, but it triggers once per action, which you want it to trigger every time you do the action, like not only once per action. So if you're gonna do in the same turn 2 or 3 assists, you want it to trigger 2 or 3 times, so you can go back to back, use your skills with your unit that do the assist or the counter or the chase. But this is why it lacklusters a little bit, and it's specifically for Rangers, which we don't play Rangers that much. If it was on counter on somebody as big as like Brain, maybe on chase for Aura, but Aura does not work on it because Aura is a warrior, and this is for only Rangers. It is a little bit lackluster. It's situational. It's not bad, but there's better for Rangers than this one. This is why we put it on lower on the tier list. Also for tanks, one of the best. If we didn't have the best one, actually, I would put it in S. But this one in A, which is really good, which is the Justice Has Arrived. Now, if you're at 75% or below, and it has a cooldown for 1 round, after you make an action or use any skill, you will gain 9% of HP and goes up a little bit. So it helps you self-sustain and survive with the tanks. It's one of the best for the tanks. It's really good. If you have it, you will not get disappointed. It's not bad. It's not, it's good. It's between S and A, I would say, because it's that good and it will help you out a little bit sustain. It has a cooldown of 1. So if you do an action and you just have a healer such as Pistonia that drops the ultimate on yourself, and it cleanses you from everything, and you're still below 75%, and you use another action because you gained the 100% turn meter, it will not trigger again. So it will trigger once it has a cooldown of 1 turn. So the next turn it might get off the cooldown, and then you can use it, which will allow it to be a good one, because the cooldown of 1 is good. It's better than the cooldown of 2. If it was on a cooldown of 2, I would put it in the C rank because it will be useless then. Now, Terribly Sorry, it's one of my favorite. It's situational. I'll be talking about it. Terribly Sorry is for Rangers, and it's entering stealth for 1 round upon triggering or entering the battle. When you enter the battle, immediately you go into stealth. Now, the downside of it, that AoE will remove stealth. If you get hit or do anything or take any damage, it will remove the stealth, which is okay, but it's not. You need speed. You need speed on your character, so they will start while they're having stealth. And why is that? Because it's absolutely fantastic when you use stealth. Now, in the basic or initial stats of it, it will give you crit damage, not crit rate. This is why I put it a little bit lower, not up there, because there's better. Crit rate is better than crit damage. Crit damage, you're gonna get high numbers of it. Crit rate, you're gonna go little with it, so you need as much crit rate as you can. So whenever you do an action after that, if you click not an action as chase or counter or assist, that does not apply to them. Action, if you press a skill or you go hit with your first skill, second skill, all your ultimate, then you gain stealth after you use that, and it's done. So it increases the crit rate while you're in stealth, and then you can use the skill and go and hit anybody, and you will do the crit damage, and it will increases your chances to crit rate. So it gives crit damage in its basic stats and attack as well. And if you go into stealth mode, you increase your crit rate by 20% at the start, and it goes up and up, which makes it a little bit good. Now you've seen me use it on 9th on bossing on 9th. It's absolutely fantastic. Now we know he cancel it when he does chase, but when he does chase as well, or when he goes and attack, let's say you do a counter or chase, but you were in stealth mode, it will increases this attack by the crit rate of it. So this will be absolutely fantastic, but it will not put you in stealth again. So chase does not trigger stealth, an active attack triggers stealth. And if you chase while you were in stealth, the stealth is cancelled, but you're increasing your crit rate by 20%. That's absolutely fantastic. In my opinion, one of the best, but I'm not here to be biased. I will tell you what is the best in general, not only my opinion. Now, one of the best Arclights in the game, and sadly, it's not in SS, it's in S. I will explain why. Because it happens once in the battle, only one time in the battle, and it will never ever happen again. The cool thing about it that it gives you attack and effect resistance as base stats. Now, what happens when you use it? Nabe versus Skeletal Dragon. You're an AoE, it's for mages. So what this does is nullifies for the first time there's a 50% fixed chance. If you max it, it goes to 100% fixed chance to nullify control effects. It means if you use taunt, if your enemy uses taunt with albedo, it will nullify that and they will not trigger that, which is absolutely fantastic. Imagine you have a lineup that have, let's say, Mage Albedo. You have her at the start of the battle, or you have it on her on the battle, and it has it on her. Now, only on her. That's not on all of the targets on the battle, okay? This is not working. Like, if you have other units on the battle, it does not work on them. It works only on the user of this Arclight, like Mage Albedo. If she has it, and she gets taunted by somebody like Knight Albedo, she will not get taunt or have a high chance to not get a 100% fixed chance if she has it on 6 stars. She will never get taunted. You can continue doing your stuff. Now, this is very good and super crucial. In the future, we're gonna get a lot of mages that you need to use this on them because they're absolutely crucial to use their skills, and it will allow you to roll with your team. So this is one of the great ones. The downside of it, it's only once per battle. So one time, if you're gonna get stunned or if you're gonna get taunted or whatever it is, it will trigger and it will not allow it to happen. Now, speaking about mages, we have Underworld Forces, which is again one of the best for mages. I would say it's highly rated here, better than this one. Let me talk about it. So it has a 30% fixed chance only on mages, that every time they apply damage, they will have a chance to apply either defense down, speed down, or attack down on the enemies, which is absolutely great because you have on everybody. If it's an AoE, you can apply it on everybody, and they take it for 2 rounds. Every single time that you deal damage with your AoE, magic users or mages, which is absolutely fantastic. It goes up to 60%. And the cool thing about it, that on the base stats, you get EP. This one applies EP to your team. It means increases your EP. If you have burn on, let's say, Mage Albedo, you will apply even more burn with EP on her basic stats. And the fixed chance here cannot be countered. They will get it if it procs, which will make it a lot helpful for your team. Reducing the speed, it means you go faster. Reducing the defense, it means their tanks will not last longer. If it reduces the attack, it will means your team is protected and will not take a lot of damage. This is one of the best ones for the mages. Now, one of the best Arclights for warriors is Onward to Triumph. It's really great. It gives you a lot of cool stats. It gives you attack, both attack, flat attack, and percentage in attack. And it goes up, and the damage actually goes from 15% to 30%. What am I talking about? So if you use it on a warrior, somebody like Momon, somebody like that has chase or assist as a warrior, like Aura, or if you have it on Brain, these effects work on them. So it increases the damage of the next skill after you do a basic attack. Now, a basic attack, which is with your first skill, and counter, chase, and assist, when you do them, they apply a basic skill or basic attack. So it means after you counter, you chase, or you assist, this will increase the next active attack or the next attack that you deal, the damage of it, not the attack of it. It will increase the damage of it by 15% at 1 star, and it goes up to 30%, which is huge. 30% of the total damage that you do from your attack. So if you're saving your ultimate, if you did, let's say, with Momon, you countered with, this is all works the entire battle, not only once per battle. So this is perfect. If with Momon, let's say, he counters or he assists and you did it and you increase your attack, your ultimate, you will increase 30% at 6 stars with it, or 15% at 1 star, the ultimate damage, output damage, not only the attack. If you have attack down on yourself, this will give you a boost in damage, not in attack. So it does not affect your damages outcome, which is absolutely great. One of the best for the warriors, and I will highly recommend playing it on units that have counter, assist, or chase. Now, talking about the best Arclights in the entire game, and the best Arclight of the best Arclights in the entire game is Fearless of Death. Fearless of Death is one insane Arclight. I don't know why they didn't nerf it yet. It's insanely good. So it gains a 60% fixed chance. This is right off 1 star, okay? So you actually get defense with it, and you get HP, and it boosts a little bit of your attack. And this fixed chance goes up, it does not goes up, it stays at 60%, but the recovery rate goes up to 12%. Better than the Albedo general one, better than the Valkyrie PDL general one that they already give. So what does it do? So it gains 60% fixed chance to recover 6% max HP up to 12% when you max it after taking damage. This triggers once per action at most. Once per action with me, which means if you're gonna get hit by an action from somebody, the next action from somebody else you're gonna get hit from that's a different action, so it might trigger also on them. So if the 4 of them attack you, you might heal. So it will make you invincible. It probably, what we heard so far is the users of Knight Albedo said with this one, she's absolutely immortal. This is the best Arclight, this best in slot for Knight Albedo. If you have Knight Albedo and this is maxed on her and you're using this on her, GG, you've done well, because it increases defense, HP, gives her a little bit of attack. She counters as well, so her attack even makes sense, and she will almost never die. This is absolutely, you don't need a healer when you play this one on them, on any tank, especially if you're playing PDL. I think with PDL, because he also goes and support and takes a little bit of damage when the shields are off, or if they want to trigger him and kill him. And on Knight Albedo, because she taunts, absolutely ridiculous on her, she will absolutely not die. Now, the best Arclight for mages in the game, which is Target Found, absolutely ridiculous as well. The general effect of it is increasing the AoE damage dealt skill by 8%. This is at the start, and at 6 stars it goes crazy. And deals an extra 4% damage if there are 4 targets or more. So the more that there are enemies on the lineup, or when there are 4 targets at the start of the battle, if you're playing somebody like Albedo, let's say Mage Albedo. We'll take Mage Albedo as an example because she's the one that's free for everybody else if you don't have it. She will deal more damage at the start of the battle, especially if you build her on speed, and this increases the attack and increases the attack percentage as well. So it's a fully on go and destroy your enemies, and if they are more, they will take more damage, which gives a great multiplier. Actually, it's the best one to use as general. And yes, I know that Albedo has her own one that also it has the general effect of increases the AoE damage, and if there's 4 more targets, but it is less in the percentages or less damage multipliers that we have on the general. This is why it's the best one to use if you want to swap it for somebody else. For Rangers, this Picnic is the most insane one for them, especially if you're playing Nabe and you don't have her Arclight, her own Arclight, and you have this Arclight. It will help you a lot. because each crit hit that you do, and it increases your crit rate by its basic and at your attack, which is great. So every crit that you hit with it, the next skill that you will do, any skill, like if you do a skill, like the basic attack, the first attack, and you crit with it, and then you want to do the ultimate damage will be increased, or the ultimate attack will be increased by 16%. Now it's increasing in attack, not in damage. I know that because damage is superior to attack, because you can reduce the attack on your targets, but there is no reduction to damage down. There is, but it's very rare on our cases or our units. We're waiting for different units to do that. There's damage reduction down. RDT, if you have it on yourself, also will reduce the damage. But talking about attack, there's a lot of characters that do attack down on your enemies, so it might hinder that. This is why it's not as OP as the two of them there, so I put it behind them a little bit. But the cool thing about it is when you crit every time, you can crit every time. If you have 100% crit rate and they don't have crit resistance, and you crit them all the time, you'll increase your attack by on 1 star by 16% with any active skill that you do, which will be absolutely insane. And if you keep critting, your attack will be uptime forever increased with this one. This is why it's insane. You're not seeing the value of it. If you test it on units that crits all the time or have crit rate up, they will absolutely destroy everybody, which is great. Aura's launch now, by far the best Arclight to use on healers. By far, there's nothing compared to this one. So it enhances the healing effects by 7.5. That's at the start. Now it increases it even more and boosts it even more. And it gives you a lot of HP percentage and a lot of HP as a base stat. Now, what's the cool thing about it? It will grant you the effect of healing received boost to the primary target that you are healing for 2 rounds. And this healing received boost goes up to 30. It's a 30% increase in healing. So let's say you're playing Renner and you want to overheal with Renner, and if you heal them and you overheal them and they get the effect of 30% even more healing, it means they will get the shield. The more you heal them and overheal them with the effect on them, the more the shields that they will go. So it's great on Renner. I know there's an Arclight for Renner specifically that you can use for her, but this is an absolute replacement that you can never go wrong with. Absolutely ridiculous healing effect bonus on that. Specifically, we tried it in PvP. Whenever we got the reduction of healing happening in PvP, when you get to a later stage after you fought each other and healing gets reduced and attack gets increased, you still with this one can heal until you max your healing. Even with Renner, you can still get shields even if the healing were down, because there's a boost in healing on the primary target, which is insane. This was the Arclight tier list in general, talking about the effects. I didn't include the rest because they have the same general effects but on a less percentage. So if you have them, you can compare them with these and know where they rank. But these are always in their general effect superior to the ones that we have them specifically dedicated to a character, and they have on bonus on them a general effect. That was it for the tier list. Let me know in the comment section what you think about it, and I'll be seeing you in the next one.